It has been a tradition for Filipinos to bury their departed loved ones in caskets. Now cremation is becoming a popular alternative in the Philippines. But for some who give high value to their faith, it may still be unacceptable. Tonight we discuss the different religious perspectives on cremation. We go on the record. I'm Ruth Cabal. Our guests for this episode, Father Aris Sison, Parish Priest of St. John Paul II Parish, Rashid Marneld Indasan, Imam, and joining us later on the phone, Leo Nitor, Customer Care Director and Certified Crematory Operator from Arlington Memorial Chapels and Crematory, and from Singapore, Becca Qian Bao. Her family had their father cremated while her mother was buried the traditional way. Thank you for joining us, and good evening, gentlemen. Father, I want to start with you. First of all, kasi we're talking about this because it's what we call undas in the Philippines, di ba po? But can you just tell us what this is all about? Yung commemoration natin ng All Saints Day, All Souls Day, ano po ba ang difference nun?
November 1 is All Saints Day. It is a solemnity. It's a feast of the highest level. It's one day in which we remember all the saints, di ba? The different saints, they have their own their feast days. But on November 1, we remember all of them, all saints. November 2 is All Souls Day. It's the day when we remember our dearly departed loved ones. It's the start of a month-long prayer for the dead.
But we go to the cemeteries on November 1, ano po, Father?
Actually, I went this morning. I went to my grandparents' grave in Loyola this morning. It's not the specific day anymore. Parang it's this season. So, siguro because of many factors, many people also go on vacation during these days. Traffic. So people go around these days to remember their loved ones who have gone ahead of them.
So hindi na nagmamatter kung anong araw. I want to ask si Imam Rashid, do you have this similar day when you particularly honor the dead po sa Islam?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, all praises and thanks are due to Allah, the Lord of all creatures. Well, we do have the same tradition to commemorate our dead. Only wala lang kami specific day. So we are encouraged as a Muslim to visit also the grave to ma-reflect yung the life after this, the life hereafter, after this. Kasi we do believe na this is just a temporary life. Ang talagang the hereafter is our real home. So
wala po talagang particular day within the year, so they can visit, but you encourage to visit anytime. Ano po? Okay, so let's go to yung mismong topic natin on cremation. Kasi we of course have the traditional burial rites for Catholics, di ba? Nililibing natin sila, yung traditional na wake dun sa mga caskets or sa mga coffins. But cremation is becoming popular na po, or has become popular. How is the Catholic Church viewing cremation?
It used to be banned, and it was allowed in the Catholic Church only in 1983 with the new Code of Canon Law. Now it is allowed, although the Catholic Church still prefers the traditional burial. Cremation is allowed. We just have to keep in mind one of the most important Catholic beliefs in the resurrection of the dead. And so, what is taught by the Church is always respect for the body, and in the case of cremation, respect for the ashes. So from here, I think one of the important principles that we need to keep in mind is the Catholic Church allows cremation, but the basic rule is that the ashes be treated the same way as the body. So, like, you don't keep the body of the dead at home.
Yes.
You do not divide the body. And you don't keep any part of it with you. So, in the case of cremation, the ashes need to be buried, need to be interred in the ground or in columbaries. we do not scatter them. And we do not divide them among loved ones. We do not keep the ashes in lockets. So the ashes should be treated the same way that the body is treated.
Okay, before we go dun sa yung mga binanggit nyo na nga na ino-observe na mga practices ngayon ano, when it comes to cremation, bakit po ba dati pinagbawal ito? Hindi siya acceptable dati?
Because it was considered a pagan practice. I think cremation is more popular with pagans and then with Buddhists. And then it became popular only, like for example, I have heard when Mayor Sunny Belmonte was mayor of Quezon City, he was saying, we don't have burial places anymore in Quezon City. So it seems that there is also a necessity. Tapos sanitary reasons, and so on and so forth.
So bakit po siya tinanggap noong 1983? Ano pong explanation?
Tinanggap siya provided we continue believing in the resurrection of the body and that there are no pagan beliefs attached to it.
Pero sa Islam naman po, hindi siya pwede, ano po?
We do believe in Islam. Islam as a Millata Ibrahim, the religion of Abraham. What was foretold unto him before, commandment by God, yung the way na paglilibing, ay hanggang ngayon po, ganun po ang aming ginagawa. Kasi, at alam ko, sa biblical, ganun din po. Tinuro kay Abel, kay Abel, para ilibing niya kayang kapatid. So, yung pagpaparusa, yung cremation po, if I may quote the Quran, sa isang verse ng Quran, in Arabic, وَقَالُوا لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَعْقِلْ مَا كُنَّا فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Yung pong hell, Catholics and Muslims who believe in hell, ang tawag po dun sa Quran, أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ, blazing fire, torment. So based on that, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, yung fire o yung apoy ay ito po yung pagpaparusa ng Diyos. At hindi dapat gawin ng tao sa any creature, kahit daga. Hindi namin pwedeng sunugin ng buhay.
So kahit napatay na po, hindi dapat ginagawa?
Ang patay ho, we do handle it with care. Kaya nga pag pinaliguan namin ng patay, dahan-dahan kung paanong tinuturing namin na masasaktan siya kung buhay siya, ganun din patay. Kaya pag inugasan namin siya, parang baby yan. Hindi namin siya dahan-dahan with care. We handle it with care kasi nag-iingat po kami sa patay. Kasi isusuli namin siya sa lumika sa kanya. So,
Ibang paano nga po yung you have certain days na dapat ma-bury? Can you just tell us about how you do it?
Yes. May tatlong bagay na hindi dapat i-delay sa Islam. Number one, yung sala, yung time of prayer. Number two, ay kung may MU na yung babae at lalaki, magpakasala. Wala nang next year pa. At pag namatay na yung tao, ilibing na. Kasi kinuha na siya. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. From God we belong, and to Him we will return. So, kinuha na siya, isoli na siya. Ngayon, mayroon pong tradition sa Islam na yung pong community na dapat gawin nilang paraan na mailibing ito kaagad. Otherwise, sila'y nagkakasala pag hindi ito nagawa. Pero pag may gumawa ng ilan, absuelto na po yung iba. Now, ano po ang significance po dito? Kung itong patay ay, kasi naniniwala po kami sa third stage of life, mayroon pong consciousness doon eh. May punishment at reward sa next stage. Yung pong sa kubur, kung tawagin, sa libingan. May conscious po ang tao doon. Kung yung tao yung gagawaran ng kabutihan ng Diyos, yung kabutihan din na para sa iyo ay dinidelay mo, inaantala mo. Magkagayon din, if he is subject for punishment, inilalagay mo rin yung kasamaan sa ilalim ng yung leeg. Yun ang sinabi ni Propeta Muhammad. Kaya quickly, nilibing po namin. At we do believe na i-reward po yung mga nag-aasikaso sa mayit o sa patay. Sumama, naglibing, naghugas, naglibing.
Kasi ang na-observe ko, di ba, even during coverages, Imam, yung pag may, kunyari, in disasters or maybe even in crimes, talagang pinipilit po pag Muslim po, talagang pinipilit na makuha po agad, ano po?
Yan po. Naging conscious na rin po ang ating community at nagpapasalamat po kami na isa rin po na concern namin ay hinuwag makuha ng punerarya. na wala nga alisin sa katawan niya. No? So, yun po ang isa sa mga...
Even for crimes? Ganun po kasi di ba minsan for crimes kailangan yung...
Depende po yan. No? So, karapatan po ng pamilya kung papayagan ho nila. So, kasi batas din ho natin kasi yan eh.
Okay.
So, may mga pangyayari pong ganyan. Pero as much as possible, huwag siyang maimbang. Ayaw ito respect. Ako mismo nakakita po ng isang babaeng inimbalsa mo.
Oo.
Pati ho yung kapitbahay namin, dismaya kung paano. Kasi lalo na babae, kung paano yung babae hindi dapat nakita ng sino-sino man nung buhay pa siya. Kahit patay na siya. Ako, hindi ko dapat nakita yung kasalanan niya.
Okay. Okay. Imam, we'll continue our discussion after a quick break. Pag-usapan natin yung traditional way of burial and then versus cremation when we return. This is On the Record on CNN Philippines. You're on the record on CNN Philippines. We're talking about what's popular now, the practice of cremating your dead loved ones. Now, Father, you were saying again, hindi naman kasalanan na tinuturing ng simbahan yung cremation, di ba? Accepted na siya since 1983. Okay, pero...
mukhang may mga ilang practices na kumakalat na hindi ayon, not in accordance with the teachings and the beliefs of the Catholic Church. Like keeping the ashes, the cremated remains at home, or scattering them at sea, except in the case of sailors, because sailors have a long-standing tradition of their bodies being buried at sea.
Yeah.
Matagal na yung tradition na yun, so that was done with the body, so it can be done with the ashes. But for all others, no, ashes should not be scattered anywhere. Ashes should be in a columbary or buried. Okay?
Pero yung ginagawa, hindi ba pwede kunwari, parte nun iwan sa bahay or parte nun yung nilalagay sa kwintas or sa bracelet?
I will go back to the basic principle, no, that you treat the ashes the same way you treat the body. So, for example, if you have 5 siblings, you don't get one finger each.
Okay.
You don't do that. Diba? You don't keep one part of the body here, another part of the body abroad. You don't do that.
Gustong-gusto kong makasama yung namatay kong kamag-anak, Father.
We need always, for Christians, no, for Catholics, we always have to follow what the Church teaches about that. It's never just what we want also, but we need to be guided by our faith in the things that we do.
Okay. Balikan natin yung discussion. Kasama natin si Father and si Imam Rashid dito sa studio. But we go first to Becca Qian Bao. She's actually from Singapore, kaya she joins us by the phone. Her father was cremated, pero her mother was buried the traditional way. Becca, good evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, good evening.
Becca, pakikwento mo nga sa amin, bakit kinremate yung tatay niya? Was it your wish ng family or yung daddy niyo mismo?
He actually wished for it.
Bakit daw?
Parang sa kanya kasi, he doesn't want to be buried yung body niya. He doesn't want, the thinking of being buried, he doesn't want it. So, he actually requested for his body to be cremated.
Kayo sa family nyo, sinunod nyo lang because of his personal wishes, walang consideration dahil mas mura, mas mabilis yung proseso, walang ganon?
Walang ganon. We just follow what he wished. So when he passed away, yun yung ginawa namin. We cremated his body.
And then now, nasaan si father mo?
Okay, kasi si Mama, when she passed away, what the siblings did, yung kami magkakapatid, we decided to bury the urn ni Papa together with Mama.
Okay. Sa sementeryo, kasama na yung urn.
Yes.
So, hindi nyo na, kasi yung ibang pinapractice ngayon, merong sa bahay or may sinaboy sa dagat, hindi naman kayo nagkaroon ng ganon. Kasi nga sinasabi ni Father, hindi dapat ginagawa yun eh.
Hindi. Nagkaroon kami na ganon. Kasi when Papa passed away in 1996, yung urn niya nasa bahay lang. Tapos Mama passed away in 2001. So, binary namin together.
Okay. So you were just following the wishes nga of the father. And then nagsama na rin naman sila, no? Your father and your mother. Okay, thank you very much kay Becca for sharing her story about yung cremation ng kanilang father. We go now to Leo Nitor from Arlington Memorial Chapels. Good evening, Leo.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening, Ms. Ruth and Father Aris and Imam Rashid. Magandang gabi rin po.
Leo, can you just give us an idea gaano ba kasikat or ka-popular yung cremation versus the traditional way of burial?
Okay, at Arlington, our data shows a few years ago, our cases po, ang burial po mga nasa 70%, then 30% is the cremation. But during this time, it raises to 50 to 60%.
Okay.
Basically, halos patay or mas marami na, kaunti sa burial. So, kaya nakikita namin na unti-unti na natatanggap ng mga Pilipinos ang cremation.
Anong observation yung nakaraniwang rason nila? Dahil ba sa presyo or dahil yun yung wishes mismo nung namatay?
Actually, different reason pero isa sa mga dahilan din ang price, no? And also, yung bilin din nung mismong loved one nila na nag-pass away. Minsan may mga iniiwang will or binibilin sa mga kaanak na when the day comes na gusto nila magpa-cremate.
Okay. Can you give us an idea? Yung binanggit mo kasi yung price eh. Magkano ba? Kunwari, kung i-compare mo. Di ba may mga package yan? Magkano?
Yes.
Oo.
Arlington cremation packages po kasi is designed to take care of the family during the hour of the bereavement. No? Covering all the needs from the moment of their loved one is transferred to our care until na madala siya sa kanyang final resting place. No? And we have the basic cremation package to hanggang sa most complete cremation package namin that ranges from 100,000 to 400,000. Unlike sa burial, that ranges from 200,000 and up to more than 1 million pesos.
So parang doble, gano'n. Pong cremation, parang 50% na cheaper. And when you're saying 100,000 for cremation, kasi package na yan, kasama na yung mga araw na nasa wake, ano, gano'n.
Yes, that's why Arlington also create a cremation program that is first of its kind, no? Paying tribute to the unique life of story of their loved one. And our program has also garnered international recognition from the NFDA, or National Funeral Directors Association, which is the world's leading and largest funeral services association that promotes world-class.
Okay, Leo, pag ganyan ba, usually mas mabilis ba yung wake pag cremate na?
Depende
Pareho lang.
Depende rin sa family. Pero yung proseso ng cremation, yun ang mabilis po. Arlington po, we cremate, usually ang cremation namin will just take 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay, ganun lang. Kasi parang dati, naalala ko, inaabot pa ng 3 oras, 4 na oras. So ngayon pala mas mabilis na, no?
We have the modern machine kasi kaya mas mabilis yung ating proseso.
Pero in terms din yung isa pang issue dyan, di ba, yung libingan. Kasi yung mga lupa, lote, mas mahal. Paano mo naman i-compare?
Una rin, ang mga reasons din ng mga client family natin is talagang crowded na yung ating mga memorial lots. And also, if you buy a memorial lot, it will cost you mga 300 to more than 500,000. Unlike kung ito ay columbary or mga urn bowl sa simbahan, no, it will cost you around mga 100,000 lang more or less.
Okay. So even yung pagdating dyan, mas mura, no? So, but kayo, when people ask you, what do you usually recommend? It's still choice pa rin ng families?
It's a choice pa rin ng family yan eh. So kaya meron kami memorialization, so inaalam talaga namin yung kagustuhan ng pamilya and also yung kagustuhan ng namatay kung meron man o kung may mga bilin sa family. So yun na yung isang mga kinukonsider namin doon.
Meron ba kayong columbarium? So ibig sabihin pwede pa rin yan dalawin kapag ganitong panahon ng undas. Kasi yung mga pamilya pag sa sementeryo, nagpipiknik pa, ganyan. Pero sa inyo?
Again, may mga columbaries na dito, ma'am. And also yung mga churches din, may mga columbary din sila kung saan pwede rin maglagay ng mga urns doon. Marami rin po mga simbahan na meron na nun.
Okay. Maraming salamat kay Leo for sharing with us yung comparison natin sa traditional versus cremation. I will talk more about that after a quick break. This is On the Record on CNN Philippines. You're watching On the Record on CNN Philippines. We're talking about cremation and yung tamang paraan ng paggawa nito, and also on the part of Islam that it's actually not accepted. No, but can you just tell us, Father and Imam, with regards to Catholics and to Muslims, how do you view death? Ano po ba ang concept ng death, and why is it important to properly honor our dead, Father?
For us Christians, death is not the end, but it is the beginning of life, the real life that we are all preparing for. Our life here on earth is but a preparation for the next. So everything that we do is in view of that. So death is not the end. And Jesus Christ, after 3 days, after dying, suffering, dying, rose again. And we look forward to our own resurrection. So, death for us is something that we should prepare for. We should live our lives here in such a way that we are ready for that when that time comes. And death for us is the door that leads to the next life, the real life, life with God. We were promised that life when we were baptized, and we look forward to be with God, to resurrect with Him when our time comes.
Imam Rashid.
Sabi ho ng Quran, kullun nafsin da'ikatul maut. Ang lahat ng may buhay ay makakatikim ng kamatayan. Sinabi ni Propeta Muhammad, peace be upon him, kilala niyo ba kung sino ang pinakamatalinong tao? Yaong iniisip ang kanyang kamatayan palagi at kanya itong pinaghahandaan. Sa papanong parang pinaghahandaan na ang isang mananampalataya maging conscious, ano pang mabuting magagawa niya habang siya nabubuhay. Dalawa lang po kasi yung dahilan kaya nabubuhay pa tayo ngayon eh. Lord, thank you. Pinapahintulutan mo pa kami makagawa ng mga mabubuting bagay sa ikalulugod mo. Higit sa lahat, makahingi pa ng kapatawaran sa mga kasalanan ng ating nagagawa. So, paghandaan ng kamatayan. So, itong realidad, darul akhirah, meron tayong tahanan sa kabila. Yun ang hinahangad ng isang mananampalataya. Those who believe in God, ito po ang mahalaga.
Balikan ko lang si Father Aris because this is a Christian observance po, itong All Saints Day and All Souls Day. No? Yung paalala na lang dun sa mga ibang parang nagpa-party pa kapag bilin na lang,
yung
Father.
Yung pagdalaw natin sa mga patay is para sa akin, is a sacred duty. And it is a spiritual experience. Hindi siya social, no? Kanina, I was so edified. Yung mga nakita ko, maaga ako nagpunta sa Loyola kanina. They were praying so devoutly. And yun ang paalala ko, yun ang pinakamahalaga for everybody, that we pray for the dead.
Okay, thank you very much to our guests tonight. That's On the Record. Thank you for watching. I'm Ruth Cabal.